Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's Saturday morning for me here, so looking forward to the weekend. Although, to be honest, my weekends are much the same as my weeks, so I don't know why I said that, but there you go. It's good because the kids are off school, so they've only just started going back actually, but we'll see how long that lasts for. It's been kind of like on and off here with the usual reasons why kids aren't going to school for the past 2 years. So we'll see how long it goes. But anyway, it's nice to have them at home again. Hey everyone. Hey Tony. I can't stick your message up actually because it came in before the stream officially started. So I don't have it in my Ecamm list. But hi Tony. Great to see you here. Oh, there we go. There he is. 2:03. Ah, right. Okay. It's always nice to know people's time zones. 2:03 p.m. Great stuff. Hey Jeff, great to see you as well, and Mr. Michael Powell as well. Great to see you here. I'm doing the same thing as I often do. I'm now looking down at my monitor window instead of the teleprompter that I've got for exactly this purpose, to be able to look down the screen. So there we go. Hey, Mr. DJ Right on Beat, the famous composer of the Ecamm theme. That's what it is now, isn't it? It's the Ecamm theme. I heard it again on Doc's live stream this morning. It's great, that is. And Miss Eileen Smith. Hey, great to see you too. It's always nice to see you. Oh, and James Bush as well. Hello, nice to see you. Hope you're having a great year. Haven't spoken to you this year. And Dale, great to see you too. And hello, Albert, great to see you too. You had a chat with Speedify, did you? Oh, great. Well, they're great, Speedify are, and it was a real pleasure to be on their show earlier. So, really, earlier this week, that is. Yeah, really good. I actually missed live. They did a sort of walkthrough of their whole sort of studio space. Because they've just moved into new offices, and so they were just building out their studio. So I know it was a bit of a work in progress, and I think that the show that I was on earlier this week was kind of their first one from the studio space. So they had some acoustic insulation and stuff like that, but they hadn't quite put it up at that point. So they're sort of building it all out. But it was great to see. I did go and watch the replay, and it was great to see what they're doing there. But love the guys at Speedify. And hey, Carly, great to see you. I hope you're enjoying your travels. Where is it you've gone, by the way? I never actually asked you that. I know you were on the road somewhere, but not quite sure where. Hey, Dina, great to see you too, as always. Let's have a little look. Curious about my wish list. I'll be getting onto that. Yes, hey, great to see you, Chris, as well. I know it's quite late there, isn't it? So thanks for stopping in. But yeah, I'll come on to my my Ecamm wish list. It's actually quite long, but I'm going to keep it brief for the purposes of this. I'll go through all of the sort of features that are added into the beta. By the way, if you, I'll come on to this a bit later as well, but if you've downloaded the beta earlier this week, then there was an update that came out sort of 2 days later as well, with a couple of little fixes to a couple of little niggles with the first beta. So definitely check that one out. And yeah, Tony was. He was here first, waiting. Very, very nice to see too. Righty-ho. Let me get on with, and I'll start with my regular sort of channel update that I usually do, which is my progress towards my 365 videos in a year. Oh, one more just slipped in. Hello, Kerwin. Am I saying that right? Great to see you. Nice of you to stop by. My 365 videos in a year, and I still haven't made up the lost ground. In fact, I've fallen a little bit further behind. I'll get back on top of it. I've just had quite a hectic start to the year and had to devote some time to some other things. But there's nothing like a goal to actually motivate you to achieve it. So. Where are we? We're on day 246 and only 187 videos. I've got some catching up to do, but never mind. I'll get there. And my subscribers have gone up. So great to see all you other lovely people that have subscribed to my channel. And in the last 2 weeks, it's sort of gone up by about 10% actually. So that's quite nice to see. So I just hit the 1,000 mark. Actually, it was the day before New Year's Day, or was it the day before New Year's Eve? I can't remember, but it was about 2 weeks ago anyway. So it's nice to see that that is still creeping up, and there is the watch hours, 7,000. I don't know at what point I need to stop actually mentioning these stats. It was always in terms of the watch hours and views and stuff like that. It was always as I was doing the originally 100 videos in 100 days, which I did. So it was kind of charting the progress of the channel and how these sort of things change over time. But the watch hours are probably getting a little bit meaningless now, so I might just sort of drop those off going forward, because yeah, it was always sort of that the road to 4,000 watch hours, which was the road to monetization, was the one that I was sort of really charting. So now that we've gone past that, I don't know if it's necessary to keep it on there. So I'll see. I'll maybe drop it off. But one other one that I'll be sharing as well. Oh, hello, Rich. Just got to say hello. You've just slipped in. Great to see you, Rich. Yeah, one other thing that I'll be talking about going forward, though, is the sort of monetization aspect of it, because it is one of those things that people say, you know, you're not going to be able to necessarily make a living the day you hit the 1,000 subscriber level and join the YouTube partner program. But it's all relative, really, isn't it? How much is not much and how much is a lot? It's totally relative. So I'm going to be not saying things like that, but rather just telling you the cold hard facts and sort of showing you what I've found with my channel. So let's get on and do that, shall we? What I'll do is I'll come over to my stats. I am a bit of a stats geek. For those of you new in the chat and on the stream, I do love digging into stats and things like that. So this is basically the channel since it started. Yeah, it was pretty consistent for the first 4 months from May last year. But then towards the end of last year, it was a bit erratic. So there's lots of sort of up and down. And these little spikes, let me just see if, let me embiggen that a little bit. It's perhaps a little bit small, is it? Whoops a daisy. Have to be in the right app to embiggen it, to use Doc's word. Yeah, so these little spikes for views are basically sort of when videos come out. So all the time in the at the beginning here, I was generally posting on average a video a day, and it was pretty much a video a day, sometimes 2, sometimes none, but generally it was pretty consistent. But these sort of wild sort of spikes here are all basically because I've been a little bit less consistent in terms of these daily videos, and so some of these are, you know, like this was the one that I posted about the Ecamm Beta earlier this week. I hadn't posted anything since the week before, so that's what that spike was. So yeah, I've just got to get back to my consistency, which is one of my goals for this quarter. Really, is by the end of the quarter to have caught up with all of my videos and to have got back to consistent posting. So that is the views. Watch time I've just sort of mentioned. Again, spike. In fact, I suppose actually that day I had my sort of highest watch time ever, which would have been for the beta release. You can see that's the sort of highest spike. Not that that means a huge amount, it's just interesting. And then the sort of subscriber count is, again, it tends to be when I post videos, there's usually something that maybe just grabs people's attention. And so that sort of does fall in line with this little overlay is getting on my nerves. It's just getting in the way exactly when I'm trying to show something. It just sort of pops up. There we go. So generally there's sort of, what's that? That's 2 and 10. So between 2 and 10. There was one day where there was none subscribed on that particular day, but there you go. That's what I'm getting from that. But let's have a little look at the revenue, because this is the sort of part going forward that I want to share more with you, so that we can have a little dig in and see exactly what to expect, really, when you just get monetized initially. It's something that a lot of people are waiting for, and so it's interesting just to note what is happening there. So this is basically, there was nothing all the way up to here. This is the day that I actually got accepted onto the YouTube Partner Program, which was effectively, it was actually the 31st of December at 9 p.m, so just in the nick of time, just before the new year. And so then every day since then, it's basically charting revenue. The spike there was actually because the lovely Mr. Paul Duncan himself, moderator extraordinaire, and the also lovely Mr. Rob Voles both gave super chats super chat and super sticker on my first official live stream having been monetized. So that's what that spike is there, because this gives you all revenue from ad revenue, but also from super chats and things like that as well. So here you can see a couple of spikes as well. That's when I got higher views because of the 2 videos that I've released since then. But then if I come into revenue, I did go over this last week, but it's worth just touching on again because I do want to sort of share this with you and show you the sort of level of analysis that we can do. I probably won't do this every week, but just maybe on a monthly basis, go back and review the month and see the effect. One thing that I'm leaving for a month is before I actually change anything in terms of the ads. At the moment, I've pretty much got all ads switched on essentially, but I will go and just sort of trim out some of those after a month when I've figured out what's going where and how they're performing, and yeah, we can have a little look at that. So what it tells you here is, so I'm in the YouTube studio and in the revenue section, and just quickly, I'll just pop this question up just to derail us slightly. I do like tangents. ProMouse is working with screen share. So it doesn't work if you are sharing a specific app because it's classing ProMouse as an app. So therefore, if I was to have shared my Chrome window, for example, then it wouldn't show ProMouse. But all I've done is I've just shared my whole screen, Chris, and then I've cropped into just the Chrome window, and then it does show up because it's obviously showing everything. So if I was to move something else, like the Finder or something over, then that would appear there as well. So that's all I'm doing to do that. Just to answer that before it gets missed. So anyway, back to the stats though. Yeah, what it's going to tell us here is obviously this is revenue by month. Obviously, only so that was literally, it must be working on US time, by the way, rather than my time, because I did my live stream at New Year's Day, but this is classing that as New Year's Eve. So let's have a little look down here. And so here it's telling me so far ad revenue is $34, and then transactional revenue, which is things like the super stickers and super chats, that's $17, and the YouTube premium revenue, so that's people who are watching on premium, you're basically not losing out because they're not seeing ads. You're getting a percentage of the or at least you're getting credit for those people that are watching on premium. So if you are not a YouTube premium user, I highly recommend it if you watch YouTube quite a lot. I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. There was my poor kids watching YouTube on TV sometimes, and then there'd be like ads coming up and all this sort of stuff right in the middle of their very important cartoons, and some of the ads, they're just, they don't necessarily know how to skip them and things like that. So I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. But now I've got now I've changed over to premium, and then it just means that they're watching whatever they want to watch completely ad free as well, and it saves my time as well, because who wants to have to sit through ads? There you go. And incidentally, I shall come on to that, because here you can see the ad types. And there's basically 5 different ad types, or there's actually 4. I'm not sure what unknown is, but there's 4 different types of ads. Skippable ads, definitely my preferred. If I'm going to have ads in anything, is giving people the option to... thank you very much, Carly. I've still not got my... That's very kind of you. I've still not got my... Now, why is that not coming up? Hang on a minute. Wrong one. There we go. Thank you very much, Carly, for that. Much appreciated. I've still got to get my my little widget, my little super chat widget to come up, but I've still not programmed that, so I'll have to get onto that. But much appreciated, and that is going on the coffee. In fact, that can probably go to 2 coffees, but fortunately, I've got 2 here. I've got my 2 Ecamm mugs. So there we go. Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. So yeah, that. The ad types, where was I? Got distracted by that lovely gesture. The ad types, we've got skippable video ads, and then the next one is non-skippable ads, 8%. I still haven't got down to actually looking at exactly where they're putting these, because you can place all of these ads in the videos. I've just not had time to actually dig into that and make sure that they are going into the right place and that they're not too overfacing. I would love to know from anybody's point of view, if they've been watching mine and they have been seeing ads, are they too intrusive? Are you getting too many of them? Or what do you think? Because I'm definitely open to suggestions. I'll probably be definitely switching off non-skippable ads just because I'm not a fan. Bumper ads, I'll probably be switching those off as well. Those are the little sort of text ads that come up like over the top of the content somewhere at the bottom. And you can see that the percentage contribution to ad revenue, there's 85% is basically from skippable ads, 8.7 is from non-skippable ads, bumper ads 3.2%, and then display ads, which are the larger ones that appear. I've still got to figure out exactly where they're going as well, but those are the larger ads that go over the top, and that is 2.1%. I'm guessing I'm just going to be switching off all of these three, leaving that one, and then just being a little bit more sort of conscious of exactly where they're going and how many of them there are as well, because whilst it's nice to get to generate revenue, obviously, from the content, it's a way to monetize the content. I don't want to annoy people. So there's that as well. And then as we come down here, then we've also got the super chat and super stickers. So that sort of lists that down there as well. When you come into the videos, like on an individual video, it will tell you exactly how much per video and all that sort of stuff. You get that in the analytics of the video. But here you can also see top earning videos. So this is, whoops-a-daisy. This is the, you didn't see that. I should have just glossed over that because I just did something, but you didn't see it, fortunately. So then we've got this one. This was from, that was actually from a live stream. So this is higher because that includes those super chats and a sticker that came on my first live stream. This one would be from just purely ad revenue. That's always been my top performing video, actually. Why profiles are better than folders for Stream Deck. I do lots of videos on Stream Deck and on Ecamm Live, predominantly Ecamm Live, it seems. That wasn't intentional when I started. It's just what I love, so I tend to make more videos about it. The Stream Deck videos are always my top performing videos, though. And that one is, consistently just keeps getting higher and higher views. So, and the other one that's a bit of an anomaly, really, is Moom. So I did a video about Moom and how I use it for organizing all of my my windows on my screen, and that is like third or something in terms of my my overall watch time on videos, which surprised me a little bit because it's a bit of a niche app, really. But here you can see, so that is the top one. And then this one was basically from new Ecamm Live Beta features. So that was released just this week. And there's the revenue from ads on that one, $2.73. So I'm only sharing this with you so that, you know, if you are on the path to monetization and are not sure what to expect when it comes in, and what people mean when they say, you know, don't expect YouTube to back up the money truck. This is hopefully just giving you a little bit of an idea of, you know, what I'm getting with my my views and stuff like that. So I will keep just sharing this for everyone who wants to know. So let's have a little look, shall we, where we're up to with the comments, perhaps, because there's been quite a few streaming in, and I've not really been keeping up. So let me have a little look. So 1 second. I'll just answer this one from Albert, first of all. 59, 55, 95. Where was that figure? That was the total, wasn't it? No, that was total in... I've switched off the scene now. I'm showing it to you, but I've switched off. Here we go. So that is basically just the total so far. That includes the super chats and also the the ad revenue. This is an interesting one here. So it's basically telling you this is my estimated CPM, or revenue per M, which is million. It's not million, it's meal, which is 1,000. Bit confusing. It's revenue per 1,000 views. So that's basically what I'm getting per 1,000 views, 79 cents. So for every 1,000 views, I'm on average getting 79 cents from ad revenue. So that's it. That is excluding the super chats and stuff. Now, this is what advertisers are actually paying for that. So YouTube is effectively taking $23.93, and out of that, I'm getting 79. So let's just have a quick look, because I know some people think it's inevitable that YouTube is going to take the larger portion of that, which obviously that they are. I should be able to do this in my head, but I'm just struggling to talk and calculate at the same time. 3.3%. So that's basically from the ad revenue. the creator, in this case, me, from this is getting 3.3%. I don't know if that's a standard or if that is just how that's worked out. But certainly at the moment, if that's what advertisers are paying, that's what I'm getting, then I'm getting 3.3% of the ad revenue, which is fine by me. And with the super chats, now what was it? I calculated this last week because basically there was, in fact, I can just have a look in here. So this one here, 1716, that was basically from a $20 super chat and a $3 something sticker, so $23, and then that 17 is what I got out of that. So they're taking, like 20-30%, something like that. So yeah, that's in terms of what they're getting out of that, about 30%, isn't it? My mind's struggling to calculate and speak, but that's what it is. So that's just going to be interesting to look at as well, to see what the sort of split is going forward as well. Let me have a little look. I've got quite a lot of things to catch up on here. I don't know what's cooking, but it's always going to be good. I love Dina's cooking live streams. They're always entertaining. Let's have a little look. 1 second, I'm catching up. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Always nice to see as well. Eileen, have you had a chance to play around with 3.1? There is lots. I'm going to be coming on to that in a moment as well. I'm sort of caught up because that's there we go. That was about the screen sharing. Let's have a little look. 1 second. Hey there, Chris. I'm just going through all of these. Lots of people saying hello to each other, which is always London. Yeah, so I don't know how they calculate it, by the way. So Carly saying wondered how revenue was shared for premium users. Yeah, I don't know how YouTube calculate it, whether they give the same sort of effect, balance out that same cost per thousand as the ad revenue or not. But yeah, always interesting. I can't believe I slept on premium for so long. Why did I not do it? And I don't even know why I didn't do it, because I did keep getting the things popping up and just dismissing it. Do you want to try premium? I was like, later. So don't know why I didn't do that. But it was about three months ago, was it? Something like that I switched it on. Yeah, I've got a wish list though that was around before then. So it's kind of like an existing wish list to a certain point. Let's have a little look. I might have guessed that you would have had premium since day one because you're the ultimate early adopter. You're trying everything. That's what I love about you. You're always trying absolutely everything and then sharing the findings with everyone else. It's wonderful. Hey, Jim, great to see you as well. No problem. Don't mind you being late. That's all right. I'm just pleased that you popped in to say hello. It's always nice. Let's have a little look. No, that's interesting. Because I was just asking, I don't know if you were in just before when I was talking about ads and stuff like that. Saw the live notice and then spent a few minutes in ads before getting to your live. Oh, well, that's bloody frustrating, that is, isn't it? I don't want to have to have people watching ads just to get into to watch. I'll have to correct that. Maybe yeah, I'll have a little look at that. I'll fix that for next week. Don't worry. Let's have a little look. There we go. DJ right on beat doing requests. Whoops a daisy. Let me just get rid of this one. There we go. Just move that comment. Oh, we've got a couple of them in today. Naughty people. And let's have a little look. I should just do that, shouldn't I? So, well, yes. Thank you very much, Eileen. Let me just sort that out right now. I can just do it from in here, can't I? There we go. This is very easy to do. Click. Just make you all make. I'll make everybody moderators. Hey, Michael. Another Michael. We've got the two Michaels, the UK Michael and the US Michael. Well, now you've started something. The Dr. Evil. You know, I have got an image just for that. Let me find this. You have started something now, Michael. Let me just get this up. Can you tell I'm getting sidetracked already? Here you go. There you go. That is the real Dr. Evil there. Hey, Keely, great to see you here. While you're here, let me just do this. There we go. I've wrenched you. I might live to regret it. There we go. I'm just doing channel admin here. I hope you don't all mind while I'm just getting on with this while you're here. There we go. Hopefully that should keep the riffraff out. I've got the power team on the case now. Righty ho. So I'm getting heavily derailed here by myself and my crazy mind. No problem, Rich. What was I going to talk about? Where was I up to? I was up to talking about, I should mention, since I've been talking about progress and channel updates and stuff like that, it's kind of related. I've still not released my Zoom course. Long story short, lots going on at work, haven't had time. It's my updated goal is to get it out by the end of next week, though. So there you go. That would be useful, wouldn't it, Keely? What a great idea. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I use this as a learning experience? Let me just sort that right out, because I think a lot of people think it's really difficult. So let us do that right now. I am going to, in fact, I could just bring this down here, share my screen. That one. There you go. Right. So here I've got the YouTube chat. I'm going to show you how you can make somebody a moderator in your chat. And basically, if in fact, Keely, has that not worked? Hang on, let me try that again. So here we go. I'm going to come over to Keely, and then you've got 3 little dots. This is really small, isn't it? Tell you what, let me do this again. I'll do this a bit better. Unlock that. I will duplicate this scene, and then what I'll do now is I will just crop in to this window, and then I'll make it bigger like that. Crop in this way, make it bigger that way. There you go. So now we can see the chat. There we go. Where is it there? Now you can see the chat, and I can just bring this side in a little bit. There we go. Get to the edge. Right. Hopefully everyone can see that. Keely's superpower is asking useful questions to streamers. That is so true. It really is. So you come over here, you've got the 3 little dots next to the name. And then here you can either go to their channel, pin the message, report them, remove them. I'm not going to do that to you, Keely. I daren't. Put the user in a timeout, hide the user on this channel, or add them as a moderator. So it's funny, actually, because you're not showing up in the list as having a wrench, but you are a moderator already. So that is interesting why that's not come up. And then Collie as well. So basically that is how easy it is. So if you are on a live stream and you want to add people as moderators, then yeah, you can just literally do it like that. You do also see them in your channel as well. So let's have a little go back to that one. So if you come into your channel, then it is in, I want to say settings. I'm guessing settings. And is it here? Is it permissions? Community, there you go, moderators. So they're just listed in there. So you can also go in there if you want to go and delete people, and you can search for people as well. So that's basically how you sort of add people in and take them out. So that was in the settings bottom here, and then in community. And yeah, you can add people that way as well. But if you are on a live stream and you've got people in your chat, then it's easy just to add them in that way as well. So let's have a little look. So Where are we up to? Right, so yeah, let's have a little talk, shall we, about the Ecamm Live Beta version 3.10. As I mentioned, if you did upgrade earlier this week and you haven't checked again, then do check again, because there is a new beta update out as well that has fixed a couple of issues. So I'll come on to those as we get to them. I'm not going to do the full demo. I did the full demo earlier this week, so yeah, I won't go through and do a full demo of everything. I do like the overlays. The like now everything can fly in. So I suppose I could just do a quick demo of this, couldn't I? In fact, if I just go to this scene and I could just do it on the fly now, I'll have that one fly in from the left. And then I'll fly this one in from the right, like that. And then if I go back to this scene and then back to this one, then there you go. You can now add these transitions and stuff like that. I like what they're doing, you know, adding in these extra little features to just add some different interest. I'm going to start just going through and adding in little features that I'd like. I'd like to have the ability to actually sort of transition from one to another. So let's say I was going to transition to another scene, having it sort of merge from one scene to another could be quite interesting. So if it would recognize on one scene what camera source you'd got, so this window that I'm in at the moment, it would recognize that that's obviously a camera, my main camera and a screen share. And then if I was to say switch to a different one, something like this, then if, you know, things would sort of almost animate from one to another, that could be an interesting feature. That's a bit like on Keynote. You've got the magic move feature, and what that does is basically if you're on Keynote and you duplicate a slide and then move things around, then when you do the scene transition from one slide to the next, it just automatically animates those. That could be a nice little thing to add in. And yeah, it's easy to add, to say these things. So don't get me wrong. I'm not just thinking, oh, it's just easy. It's just like they do in Keynote. But it's just a little wish list here that we're going through. So there was one thing though with the what else was it? Oh, it's the alignment as well. So the little alignment tool that you've got now in with different overlays where they will sort of align up and show those little alignment lines. That was one thing that there was a little bug in the first beta release where it worked when you had got the elements shown in a specific scene, but when you were showing them in all scenes, then it didn't quite work. In fact, it didn't just work at all. So that was one of the fixes, that the alignment tools now work in when it's shown in all scenes or in the specific scene as well. Eileen's just asking, am I using Restream to multi-stream on Facebook? I am actually, yeah. I started streaming to Twitch when I first started the channel because it was kind of like I found out about Restream and realized you could stream to all these different places. So I just started doing it because you could. I haven't bothered streaming to Twitch because I didn't have an audience there. It was just kind of like a total, oh, you can do this, let me do it. So I kind of stopped doing that. When they opened up streaming to Twitter as well, I was doing that for the past few weeks. But again, not really any engagement there. And I don't think I want to use that as a place to host videos. So I've not bothered doing that this week as well. I am streaming to Facebook, though, because I do seem to have some level of engagement on Facebook and just interested to see what happens with sort of building a sort of video content on there as well on the page. So yes, currently restream to Facebook and YouTube to answer that question. So did they add anything from my wish list into the updates this week? They are always actually listening to everybody. So there's a few things that I've asked for, like I'm not saying they just listened to me and did it. There's lots of other people asking as well. But like in the last update, the one about green screen sharing. So being able to add the green screen effect to screen sharing was one that came in the last update, 3.9. That was something that I'd definitely requested, as well as other people had requested it. And speaking of wish list, one thing that I'd love is for them to be also able to add that to video, so that basically you could bring any video in that had got a green screen background or a green background, and then have it doing the keying on that. So that's something that's still on my my wish list. That hasn't actually come up yet. And by the way, if anybody does want to just pop on and talk about any of the features, I'll just stick this up now while I'm thinking about it. You're welcome to come and join, takeonetech.io/join. if you've got any comments or anything like that about the Ecamm Live in general, or anything else for that matter. Yeah, having the ability to add the green screen keying to a video would be really useful, because people do download or create videos with the green screen on the background, and then have to take it into a second application to remove the green screen to bring it in with the transparency. So I don't know how technically difficult that would be to sort of apply, but yeah, being able to just drop a video in and then key out the green would be useful for lots of applications. So that would be something that was quite useful. All the changes that they're making to camera overlays, all the overlays, all the movements and stuff like that is something that I've been wanting. I want them to add the same sort of borders and things like that we've got currently for the cameras and the screen sharing. Having that with images would be also really useful. So when you're dropping images on, you can get exactly the same sort of border effects and things like that. That would be really useful. That would be a great name for it, scene morphing, for that thing that I mentioned earlier about having the scenes being able to move from one to another, and the elements just sort of automatically move around. Again, not sure how technically difficult these things are, but I'm just giving my little wish list. Oh, did I miss a great tip there? Great tip about turning off ads for the live, then turning ads on for the replays. That's definitely what I need to do, because I don't want people seeing through ads to get to. Did I miss Keely saying that somewhere? I can't see it now. Anyway, I'll credit with Keely with it anyway. But that's what I need to do, Jim. Just switch off the ads until the live's finished. So where are we up to? Whoopsie daisy, who have we got joining? Speak of the devil. Or speak of the angel, I should say. That's not very nice now I think about it. Speak of the devil, is it? 1 second. Let me just assign to guest. Boop, there we go. Hey, Keely. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Fantastic. Good. Good. You invited, so I accepted. That's how this works.
That is how this works, yeah. And it's great to see you.
Next time, what you have to say is, would anybody like to join except Keely? And then I'll get the message very clearly. But otherwise, I'm like, well, I'm right here. I might as well.
I wouldn't want anyone else, Keely. You know that.
Oh, you're so sweet.
How are you finding the new beta? Have you been using it?
I have been, and I've noticed a couple little glitches that I need to replicate before I don't like going in the beta group. I'm talking like, I don't like going in the beta group and saying things unless I'm very sure that what I've experienced is actually a bug or a bit of a disturbance. So I need to go back and test, but I was having problems with videos that I had set to auto advance to the next scene. Suddenly those were broken, which I wasn't using anything fancy about the auto folders. They were just my regular, because I do that a lot, that I have a sequence of clips that I want to go through. And they weren't advancing. So I just want to make sure that actually is consistently happening.
That was a known bug, but they have actually fixed that. So if you update again, they've fixed it. Because it would only work when they put them in folders. So they did it.
That's okay. Yeah. But I did download that update. So cool. So that's good. I'm so good that I don't even have to report the bug. It just gets fixed. I experience it and boom.
Hey, Eileen.
Hello, beautiful people.
How are you doing?
Come on, Eileen.
Good. Yeah, that's my jam.
I know.
How are you finding?
I don't get to sit next to you very often, Eileen. This is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking the wrong way. Hi.
Hey. Oh, no,
yeah, you look the wrong way too. No.
Sorry. Hi, Keely. Hey, Alex.
There we go. Yeah. Sorry, I won't interrupt you again, Alec. You go ahead.
I was just going to say to Eileen, how are you finding it? Have you been using the beta?
I posted a little test because
Mhm.
this whole echo cancellation thing,
Yep.
and I'm still a little confused. And okay, so here's the thing. We always had echo cancellation,
Yep.
right? And that is to prevent echo coming from, well, echo
Yep.
coming from your Mac.
Correct. Yep.
But now this new one is supposed to prevent it from coming from external speakers. Okay.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
I heard people's like saying, no, that's going to affect the quality of your audio. I feel like I'm laggy right now. Is it just me or?
If you're watching the feed, there may be a bit of a delay, but don't worry, you're coming out fine for us.
But I'm okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I said, let me just test it and see if there's any, diminish, because I'm using this like the same mic that you guys. No, I don't know. What do you have, Alex?
It's the
Alex.
MV7. MV7.
Okay, we all got the same mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, well, let me see if I'll test it on the fly. So the good thing about it was I was able to do the test, and two people gave me feedback and said it sounded the same. The bad thing was turning on and off the echo crashed Ecamm.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's that.
Interesting.
Right.
And so right now, Eileen, do you have the same echo cancellation feature turned on?
Let me look. Well, there always had the regular echo cancellation. It's always on, but let me see about the other one. Yeah, both of them are on, but I'm not using an external speaker, so I really don't need to have it on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's another thing that I noticed. And I'm definitely not going to turn it on and off right now. And I sent in my diagnostics, and Ken and Glenn, they're brilliant. I absolutely love them to pieces. But then Glenn says, are you able to repeat it? And I'm thinking, well, how many streams do I have to do? Because he got the diagnostics logs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, how many times do you want me to do it? It crashes this Ecamm. So you want me to keep doing that?
I dare you to do it right now.
No, thank you.
I triple dog dare you.
You could
right
do
now.
it. You could do it right now. Just turn it on and turn it off.
Okay.
I already know it crashes mine.
I'm here for this. This is how we test. And I'm with friends, so I feel like this is something I could try. Okay, this is under
I already
audio.
know it's crashing mine. Now, what happened was I turned it on. Like I said, I already had the one on. Then I turned the other one on. Fine. So I said, well, let me turn it back off because this is weird. I don't really need it anyway. And that's when it crashed. So it didn't crash when I turned it on. It crashed when I turned it back off. And so then also they were linked. They became linked. I couldn't turn them off separately, but they weren't linked when I opened Ecamm. They were separate.
Right.
But I was just like, okay, they're still got some work to do with that because people are always going to want to turn that on the fly.
Yeah.
Because it's not until you start having problems.
Yeah, you would hope that people have their setup ready to go before they start, and they've tested it, and they're confident that their audio is working the way they want, so they shouldn't be changing things once they've gone live. I'm the kind of person who would need to try to do this on the fly.
No, I was thinking more, Keely, of guests when you're inviting guests on. And then you all of a sudden you hear that, and then the first thing you're thinking is, oh, let me turn it on, off, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so you're going to always want to be able to do that on the fly is the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that time at band camp where you challenged me to do it live? I just did it. I turned it on, all of it, and I turned both options on and off. No problem.
Good. And I didn't hear any change in your sound either.
No. But I'm also I'm headed. I've got things and things. So
yeah, but
there is no sound coming out of my Mac or coming out of external speakers at all.
Is it on now? Is it?
Nope.
No.
For
'Cause-
me, it is.
Right, because now
Are you
now
hearing that little echo, Alec?
Yeah. I wonder what's
We're
caused
hearing
that.
an echo.
Because that wasn't there originally, but then now it's starting.
Nope. Well, no, it was there before I started fiddling with my audio settings.
Was it? Oh,
I'm
no,
not saying that it's anybody's fault.
See, I wasn't hearing that before though. That's funny.
Oh, I was.
Interesting. So, and you still hear it?
Yep.
But I have it on.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I'm not hearing an echo from you, Eileen. I'm hearing an echo from Keely. So whenever Keely speaks, I'm hearing the echo from that, which would imply that it was coming out of perhaps it's coming out of yours. Is it? Are you using speakers then, Eileen? No.
No.
That's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
But you're not using headphones right now. So how are you listening to us?
I never use headphones. Never.
Right. So you're hearing us out of your built-in Mac speakers.
Yes. And I have the echo cancellation on. All right. Is it any different now? Because I test. I just turn my speakers way down, like I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
That seems better because like when Keely just spoke, then I didn't hear the echo from Keely, so that would imply that it's doing something.
All right. So
there we go. The joys of echo cancellation.
Yeah, and like I said, my main concern is the worry or the concern that a few people voiced it.
Yeah.
That your audio would be diminished when you turn that on. Well,
technically it will because it's doing some processing. So I mean, there will always be something where it's always better to use it without any audio processing. It's the same with Zoom as well, where they'll often they do a lot to try and cancel echo, background noise, and it's all extra software processing that's going on. So but it's not like audiophiles will get really picky about it. But I don't think it's a major thing. It's like you still sound fine to me. So
thank you. But you know what? And now that I'm thinking about it, because Keely and I are in here as guests, we're actually coming through the browser.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not actually. I mean, even though we're using Ecamm as our virtual cams, right?
Yeah.
So the browser has. Yeah, there's
dead right,
another layer.
Yeah, what's happening now is all down to basically the browser and the microphone that's selected in that, as opposed to the Ecamm setting. So yeah.
But your output from your browser could be what we're hearing.
That would be what it is. We'd just be hearing that. Yeah. So
yeah. And not echo. It's slapback. Right?
Correct.
I know, but
because if Doc, I swear, Doc probably just went because he heard somebody say echo and it was slapback.
Glenn change it inside of Ecamm to say slapback cancellation.
Yeah.
So
no, because ain't nobody gonna understand that.
Folks won't understand.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Hey, just say, hey Caleb, great to see you, and asking a question. Can you change the voice delay while live? I've never tried that actually, but. Don't know. It's because basically while you're recording, that's the other setting in Ecamm where you can add the mic delay. I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, the sliders work. So perhaps you can change it on the fly.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, we are really testing everything on the fly here with the settings.
Yeah, but I mean that's I mean you say that people might not do this, with Ecamm, the bug and that, but that's the point about the beta, really, isn't it? Is for finding all these little things out, and it's like the one about the alignment thing where it worked when they tried it in the individual scene, but when you try it in all scenes, it wasn't working. So that's the point of the beta program, to iron all these things out.
Absolutely.
Kerwin, loopback. I don't use loopback except for I do use it for Zoom. So that's basically when you want to have two-way channels, basically from Ecamm interviewees going into Zoom, and from Zoom people going back out to the interviewees. But if you're not doing something like that, then it's not necessary for just general use, really.
Yeah, and I have Loopback installed, and I have a number of virtual mics, but I'm not using a virtual mic right now.
Yep.
The mic that I'm using into Chrome is just my Shure MV7. It's not. I have an Ecamm mic set up that brings in sound effects and certain apps that I want Ecamm to be able to access. And then I have a Zoom mic. I have a WhatsApp mic. And I call my mics according to the application in which I'm going to use it, not the other way around. I'm not doing it the Kirk Nugget way. I'm doing it my way. That makes sense to me. So your mileage may vary. I don't want to confuse anybody. Just saying.
Rich was ahead of us, by the way. Eileen and Keely aren't streaming now, so it's just virtual cam. So
right, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, we're using our virtual camera as the camera that Chrome pulls into this experience that we are providing.
Yeah, that's right. Jim's got it right. Slapback. If they called it slapback, just imagine the number of support calls. What's slapback?
Yeah.
So hence them using echo instead.
Slapback is the way that I respond to people's comments when I'm not happy with them.
Carly saying, can you demo how to switch from beta to the regular version? It's as simple as you've got two separate apps, two separate icons in your dock or in your applications folder. And so you just close one and open the other. The only thing to bear in mind with the current one is there's some features in there that would effectively get broken if you went back to the original one. Because basically, if you open up the beta and you've got multiple different profiles in there, in fact, now it would just, all of that would be exactly the same in the regular one. But if you're using some of these things like the timer folders, for example, where it will sort of cycle through different scenes, that wouldn't work in the original or the original, the non-beta version, and then also the things like the movies that will play in the background through multiple scenes. Then those features wouldn't. So it's just if you go and set up stuff in the beta and then go back to the regular version, those sort of things might actually get broken. So that when you came back to the beta, they may not actually work. So what I'd recommend is having a profile that is like for your testing of the beta things, and make sure you change out of that to the regular version before you go back to the regular version, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I never go back.
Neither do I actually, no. Yeah, I haven't.
Once I went beta, I never went back.
Yeah.
Q colon. Does anybody else have the experience that as they're using Ecamm, maybe just beta, that their output device changes automatically to Ecamm Live Audio at random times, perhaps when you activate Ecamm or maybe something else? And when that happens for me, I know that it's happened because suddenly my audio gets a little, there's almost like a static in it. And then I immediately go back to my sound source and I go, oh yeah, all of a sudden I'm not Shure is no longer my output. Ecamm Live Audio is my output. Right. And I ain't changing it to that because I don't even know what Ecamm Live App Audio is.
Yep. What's the app that you can route your different outputs and inputs and stuff like that? Not loop back. You mentioned it the other day. Sound Source, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
So I downloaded Sound Source and I uninstalled it, but I've still got some sound control output because I found that it was switching my stuff around and I just couldn't get my head around why it was doing it in some instances. I don't know if it's related to that. I don't know if there's a setting because I've uninstalled it now, but I don't know if there's a setting where you can have it default to a certain output when you open a certain app. But it could be worth having a look in there to see if that is having anything to do with it.
Yeah, the redirection feature. So Sound Source, everybody at home, is an app by, what is it? Amoeba? Rogue Amoeba.
Rogue Amoeba, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell Alex already pulling it up and he's going to put it in the comments for us. And I thought it would be, they had it on mega sale on Black Friday. So I decided, it's been around for a long time. Maybe I'll pick it up, so that you could easily route audio automatically, your inputs and your outputs differently depending on what app you're using. And that is one of its main features. So it's called Redirect Audio 2, and you can change it on the fly. So I'm going to right now quit SoundSource, and I'm going to see if I can trigger the Ecamm Live app audio stuff and test that out for a while, because it is weird and annoying, and it can, I think it can cause some problems in Discord, especially because Discord is quite sensitive to change in your audio input output. You end up, yeah. Callie knows all about this. She's been fighting this all week.
I get that. It's every time I've changed my output and come back into Discord, it's like, hey, we've just detected that you've. It's almost as annoying as Microsoft Clippy from back in the day.
Actually, click on the blue.
I take that back. Nothing is annoying as Clippy.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate. But yeah, click on the "Don't ask me this again."
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of that dialogue. My life is so much more peaceful now that I've clicked on that. I thought it was important for it to switch for me automatically. It ain't important at all, because it keeps wanting to use my monitors, which actually don't have speakers in them.
Right.
So it's like, no, they don't have an audio output. Why do you want to use them? So there you go. Lol, thanks. It's that simple. Yes.
Yeah, that's about the beta and switching between them. Yeah, I've not used the regular version for I don't know how long now, but
yeah, me neither. What about you, Arlene?
Well, I was actually reading G. Albert's comment, and I know he's asked about this before, so that kind of threw me off. And remember, I turned my volume down really low. What about me? What?
Are you an exclusive beta user, an experimenter, or are you a main?
Yeah. Remember I said once I went beta, I never went back.
You never looked back. Yeah. Oh, you did say that, and I'm the jerk who
went back. Yep. And so we're talking 3 years maybe since I've been on the beta.
Okay, so are you going to answer Albert's question? Because I have an answer to this too.
Yeah, so I do run it on 2 Macs actually, and you can sort of share between them. And it's, if you go into Ecamm Live and then go into the output menu, then there is an Ndi Output option, and you can just select the sort of stream size that you want in there. So it's 450, 720, or 1080. And if you've done that on any one of those Macs, then if you're on the other Mac, it will just show up as a camera feed. So you can just add that in as another camera, and it's basically showing exactly what's on the first Mac. So it is actually a great way to do stuff where you want to demo something on one, and you want to actually do all of the processing and heavy lifting off that one, but then just send the feed from that Ecamm over to the other Mac, and it just works as long as on the same network. It's works pretty flawlessly, that does. So yeah.
The use case that I use that for, Alec, is I have I'm too cheap to buy another dock at the moment. Right. So instead I use a whole nother computer so that I can plug in my iPad, use it as basically a telestrator using a green screen.
Yeah.
And then I bring that entire feed over top idea. into Ecamm. Yeah. And into the Ecamm from which I'm streaming. So yes, I've done that. It feels super complicated, and I'm a minimalist and I don't like all that extra fuss.
Yeah, but if you've got the stuff, it's, if you've got it already, then.
Yeah. I prefer the setup where I start up NDI HX Capture on my iPad, leave it wireless, and then use that to bring my iPad as a camera over top of the Ecamm that I have just in my MacBook Pro. So that's just keeping it simple, but I'm not sure if I love it. Yes, Caleb, CalDigit Element for the win. That is definitely one. I'm just saying that I already have one dock. I just need one more USB-C port. Just one.
That's annoying.
Just one. Yeah. And I'm waiting for one. So it will come. It will come. I ordered, there was a Indiegogo Kickstarter project, one of those things, for a dock that actually sits just underneath your MacBook your 14-inch or 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Oh, I
and
saw.
one.
Yes, yeah. They look pretty
Yeah,
good.
so I'm pretty sure Doc also ordered one
Yep.
of those. Doc ordered the dock, and I
Uh-huh.
ordered the dock. And it's shipping very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. And that should open up many, many ports for me. So I'm excited.
Cool stuff. By the way, Rich has just said that he also had audio switching from Rodecaster to Ecamm audio during the stream. Not sure if related to the beta or not. Have you just had this issue, by the way, since the beta, or has it been a while that you've had this thing of it switching to Ecamm audio?
I really should document things more often. I think it's been happening to me. It feels like 2 weeks now. So it's not just this
right
3.10 beta.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than that. So I bet it's sound source.
Right. I didn't keep it for very long. I found it was doing things to me that I didn't like it, but the way it was switching things. Or I should take that back. I didn't take the time to actually learn how to use it enough to have it work for me. That's probably more accurate.
There you go. Fly fishing Bow River. Is that our friend? Is that our friend Dana? I think it is.
Weird. Now, why has that not come up in my Ecamm list of questions? That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Alec? You didn't respond to me on Facebook. And so I'm wondering if you saw my Facebook.
I haven't got any Facebook comments in here. That's interesting. Let me have a little look. No.
Oh, gee, is Restream not being perfect today? What a surprise.
That is a surprise, isn't it?
Look at my surprise face.
Yeah, I've always said that Restream was, especially with Facebook comments.
Right.
It has always dropped those comments. So
yeah. And to be fair, we could probably blame Facebook for that because Facebook is awful, which is why I don't use Restream and I don't use Facebook for my live streams. Everything goes into YouTube or it goes into my Discord. That's it.
Well, typically I would use StreamYard and just the virtual cam with Ecamm. And StreamYard is flawless. I tell you, it's flawless.
Yeah. Okay.
The only time StreamYard has ever had a problem is when Facebook, and then, everybody you can't even go to regular
hashtag
Facebook.
blame Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
So real quick, here's what had happened. When I first started using Ecamm, I signed up for Restream, and it was always super buggy. And in fact, for years, every time somebody would put a comment in the Ecamm group, I would just say, Restream is buggy. Restream is buggy. But in all fairness to them, they refunded my money right away. They were so super nice and super kind. So I never did a video bashing how buggy they were. So this year, well, not this year, but Black Friday that just passed, they sent this email, and it almost seemed like it was just for me. They were like, we're much more stable now, and all this stuff. I was like, okay. And it was on sale, right? And I was like, really, yeah. So, and I knew I wasn't going to buy any gear, but I said, I will buy some software this year. So I went on and I did it, right? Guess what, y'all? I had money sitting in there from affiliate sales that has been sitting in there for 2 years.
Dang.
So it really didn't cost me anything.
That's good.
Nice.
That's good. Albert's question is ELMC an Ecamm product, third party? It's third party.
What's the
so
ELMC?
It's
it's an app, right?
It's an app for your iPhone that allows you to control Ecamm. It's basically an MDI, a MIDI controller, but through an iOS interface.
And if you think Restream is buggy, no.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know.
I used it for a hot minute, and then that was it. So, Stream Deck is just for the time that it takes you to diagnose or troubleshoot problems with something as essential as I want to press a button and I want this thing to work. To me, I limped along with Stream Deck on my iPad or my iPhone for long enough, and then I was like, this was dumb. Why did I wait so long to get the hardware?
Yeah.
So there you go.
You know, I've been seeing a lot of these bots. Anyway.
Yeah, it's been really bad. Just before Christmas, they got really, really bad.
Yeah,
oh, you did it. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's funny about these messages not coming in. So I've seen, I saw Rob slip in, by the way, but I'll say hello with, and he's correcting my pronunciation. Beta.
No, he's correcting my pronunciation because.
All right, okay, Beta.
I'm very moldable. When I hear people speaking a certain way, I just start. I'm like Madonna when she moved to London, started faking an accent. No, that's me.
Yeah. Now this is funny. So this is this comment's come in, but it hasn't got the avatar. But the first comment didn't come in at all. So yeah, definitely some issues with the restream.
Oh, Fly Fishing Bow River. I have it in my YouTube comments. So yeah, I Dana was here. Yeah.
I can see it in there, but it's just not come up, and it didn't bring in the avatar. Never mind. And oh, hey, brother Phil's here as well. Well, hello, Phil.
Well, friends, I have got to run, but Alec, great. I so appreciate you inviting me and letting me in the room.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. You know that, Eileen.
And now I'm super moderator. Yay! Keely is always
You're coming
nice.
for Paul Duncan. You're coming for Paul Duncan.
Oh yeah. He's probably at the event.
Yeah.
Because he's a moderator there. Yeah. So hopefully that all access pass that I have, it won't take long for the recordings to be up because most of the time I wasn't able to attend. I did catch a couple different sessions though. One was really good today. But all right. So anyway, friends, I will see you in class. Yeah. And thanks so much for having me.
Have a great day.
Nice to see you, Eileen.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay beautiful.
Bye. I'll try.
I was about to say, what can we possibly do it any other way? What do you mean?
Brother Phil's just asking what event. So it's the Lauria as event, which is what's it called? Expand your
Elevate
reach.
your reach. Elevate your
reach.
Expand. No, you're right.
I know it's EYR. But
there's a reason we refer to it by its acronym.
Yeah. I know Ecamm's a sponsor of it, so they're there, and there's lots of other speakers. I haven't done that though, to be honest. I've just not had the time. Got too many other things to be doing.
Yeah, me neither. But there you go, Albert. Yes, I'm saying don't waste your time, but you're a little stubborn. So I look forward to you telling us in about 6 months that you wasted your time because you didn't do what I recommended. So see you in the future, sir.
You can't beat the Stream Deck for just simplicity and like the hardware version of it. Do you know what? I got a loop deck. When was it? Before Christmas sometime. I have still not set it up. And I know that you tried it and you were not a fan and sent it back. My feeling is that there's just some friction there because it's just the interface is not as simple and straightforward, and there's like this little friction that is just getting in the way of me actually just setting it all up. I've been busy as well, but normally I would get a gadget and I'd be like, right, that's it. I'm making time for this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there's something about it that I haven't just gelled with, and I've hardly looked into it. I do. The one thing I have done is I use the Photoshop profile to embiggen my little tools and things like that. But that's about it. It's like, why have I not just gone all in on it? I don't know. And I think
absolutely. Yeah. The thing that I really struggled with was the, in comparison to the Elgato interface where you're just pulling the function onto the actual button. LoopDeck's UI does not follow that in any way that I could discern. And maybe I didn't try hard enough, but I read lots of effing manuals and watched a lot of video, and I consider myself a decent learner and a decent researcher, and could not figure that thing out. So I gave it the good 2-week try and then sent it back. And the product that I really am interested in, but absolutely do not have the budget for at this point on my priority list, is the monogram consoles.
Yeah.
Because you and I have gone back and forth about that a little bit. Like, oh, they're on sale this week. They're on sale that week. But just not quite ready to make the plunge because they are quite expensive.
Yes,
they look pretty.
They do look
So
pretty. Yeah. I haven't actually checked out what's the interface like on those properly. The actual software side of it.
Yeah, they don't make that super obvious on their website. So I don't know if you want to pull that up. Feel free to take me off the screen or put me smaller, but have a look at that because it's got some of the similar ideas of the Loop Deck where it has actual tactile discs that you can sort of touch spin, and you can and dials that you can turn in the same fashion as the Loop Deck. But man, the white stuff looks so pretty. And those sliders. Those sliders.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah, that to me would seem like a really great accompaniment to a Stream Deck because Stream Deck's got all the buttons and this one's basically got all of the dials, the knobs, the sliders, all that sort of stuff.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. So, because that's the thing with I do much prefer. The one reservation I had about the Loop Deck was that the touch screen was going to be hard to find the buttons, all that sort of stuff. I was wrong about that because it's not just one single screen. So, but there's still not anything like an actual clunky button on the Loop Deck. So, but I do like the dials as well. So this in conjunction with a Stream Deck could well be the perfect.
Yeah, the slider and the dial set. Those two would be really cool. And as you can sort of see, Alec, you're doing a good like that. The website's really pretty and set up. Is that you can order just individual pieces that work with your workflow. So if your big thing is audio, you're a DJ, you're an audio producer, or if you're editing video and you need different needs, then you can get exactly what you need. And they have little packages that they commonly recommend. Hey, are you into photography? You want this particular Monogram package. So it looks really good. I'll keep an eye on my Buy Me a Coffee account. And if it's somehow just like fills up one day, I'll use it to buy a Monogram console. That's what I'll do. I'm just throwing that out in the universe. That's how you're supposed to do it, right? Say, hey, this is a possibility in my life.
You could put that up there as a goal, couldn't you?
I definitely could.
Actually, just stick it up
definitely there. Could. There you go. You do that. You should absolutely do that.
Well, I actually put a goal as a ZV-10 on mine, and then they've stopped producing it. I think I found a way to get one though, so it may be coming sooner than I thought.
And how's that? How are you going to get your?
Well, there is still stock. I was thinking that there was none because I couldn't find any in Thailand, and then I looked on Amazon, they weren't on there. But apparently B&H have got them, and is it Best Buy has still got some stock or something like that?
Okay.
So yeah.
I wonder if Mooseland has any. Let me take a look. But I know my first hardware upgrade this year, whenever I get to that point, is going to be a camera. Because I know that my camera is not fantastic. It's served me very well. And when I usually live stream, I'm live streaming in the middle of the day. So I have lots of natural light that I take advantage of. It's not like this. So right now it's coming up to 4 p.m. It's past 4 p.m. in my area. So the sun is setting and I'm starting to have to turn on all my extra lights.
Right.
But when I stream to my audience, who's all in Europe, I'm hitting them in the evening, but it's midday for me. And I can get away with it. And then if I film a recorded video, I schedule my recordings so that I'm doing it in the middle of the day.
Right.
And not at night.
Well, you always look great though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the picture quality.
That's me. That's not the Brio.
Yeah, true.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I know that's coming up for me. I'm just taking my time and making sure that my budgetary priorities in the right order for that to happen.
Sure. Yeah. And
there you
Albert
go.
mentioned there's a $25 discount for the first order. There is on the Monogram site. There's also, they do like quite large discounts sometimes as well. So there was the Black Friday one where it was like 25% off or something like that, I think, or something quite large. So they do run offers. It's definitely worth.
Yeah, they had 15% off last week, I think.
Right.
I'm on their newsletter list because I'm just who knows, one day it might pop up, but $25 off in Freedom Dollars, off probably $600 to $700.
I was just about to say, I didn't mention the price, did I? Let me just go back and show what
Yeah,
the
go look
price
at the
was.
prices, Albert. $25 off is kind of like almost an insult. So
yeah. Actually, this one has got a so there is a discount now, $4.99 down to $3.99. So this is the Traveler console, which is these three components.
Right.
So this one that's up at the top is basically kind of like you have to have that one, and then every one of these is an add-on, but they make sort of little packages. So Studio console is $5.99 reduced to $4.99, and this one is, what's that? $1,099 reduced to $799. So that is actually there is a discount on it already at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a lot more than $25 off.
I don't know if you get the $25 off as well with your first order or not. A bit cheeky, really. But yeah, so I mean, just looking at that, something like that, basically $800 with the discount. It's still quite pricey, isn't it, for some dials?
Yeah.
But if you're using it all the time, though, I mean, if you're doing things like that with lots of photo editing, video editing, things like that, then little jog wheels and things like that are going to sort of speed up your workflow. So it does depend. It's certainly a justifiable expense for some.
Yes.
It's not for me at the moment.
That's
the thing.
When I get to the point with my video editing that the barrier to speed is the ability of my hands to execute commands rather than my brain to understand what it is that I'm looking to do, that's when I'm going to need some kind of, controller like that. Yeah. Right now, I'm still looking at projects saying, how do I make that look better again? What should I be? Color? How do I do? It's all up here. It's all up here.
Yeah.
So you need to develop your own skills with a tool first before you get more tools to help you with that tool. It's kind of the jam there.
Oh, see you later, Rich, unless I've missed you already.
Yes, indeed. He's being sassy. He's being very sassy. Yeah, Dina, Amazon had some white ZV-10s last week. I know, but
I know. Michael's saying about the Roland VR1 HD streaming mixer and switcher all in one. I've heard about that. Doc was talking about that the other day, actually, but I've not looked at it.
Saradici Rhymes with Peachy did a video comparing. Saradici Rhymes with Peachy did. Right. I just have to say it every time because it's so cute. Yeah, she did the ATEM. It was so funny because the video was titled, and I hate it when people make videos like this and they title them live streaming. Are you doing it wrong? 4 different ways. And I'm like, oh, so she's going to talk about live streaming techniques. This is going to be very interesting for me as a live streamer. No, what she was saying is you're using the wrong tools. You should be putting your stuff through an ATEM Mini. And I was like, nah, player, that's not what you were talking about before. So it was just released maybe 2 or 3 days ago. It'll be easy to find. And she compared the Mini, the Pro, and then she showed off the Roland. And by the time she got to this one, that's when I turned off.
Right.
Her retention rate, boom, bang.
When I said no more. When I started my channel, I did actually look at the ATEMs. So before I discovered Ecamm, I was considering going down the ATEM route. Although with hindsight, I'm not sure why. I was only still using one camera, so I mean, the whole point of them is that it's a camera switcher. But it was just a nice little bit of tech.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When you're just starting out, you don't know what you need, and people start talking about the tools, and you think, "Oh, do I need that? Do I need that?" And you're sort of chasing down all these rabbit holes. You have to start producing the content first before you know what you need.
Yeah. It's the ATEM thing's just funny in the Ecamm group as well. When people say, "Oh, I've got multiple cameras. How do I connect them with Ecamm?" And there's always somebody who says use an ATEM, which just basically just bypasses all of the functionality of Ecamm.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. It's nice to see you, Canadian Securities Law Made Easy.
Oh, thank you very much.
As a fellow Canadian.
I didn't even realise I changed it actually. Oh, yes, I do. I normally have a slightly different one, don't I?
Maybe he hasn't seen you since you moved into your studio.
It does. Oh, that background. I thought you were. Of of course. Yeah, my actual real live background that I can go and touch. Thank you very much. I was looking at my my scenes background. There you go. Yes,
Yeah.
Sexy Rich. Still lots of work to do on the background. I say lots of work. Still some work to do. I've still got to get my shelves and put them up when I've got time to go out and actually look for them.
Yeah, I hear you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to put shelves right behind your head? Is that the plan?
Yeah, that was the plan. I kind of had second thoughts about it because sometimes, like on Zoom calls and for business side of stuff, it's sometimes good to just have a completely plain background so that people aren't distracted by looking in the background. And I did kind of mention that on one of my other live streams, and everyone's like, no, definitely shelves. So yeah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, so sure. It's interesting. It's a matter of taste, and I think it depends. Because Alec, you do a lot of teaching, a lot of running of courses and things like that, as do I. And there's a difference between when you're streaming just a regular conversational type, content, and you're teaching, and a workshop. Because for me, when I'm teaching a structured class, there does need to be quite a bit of attention on the visuals. It's like, look at this clip that I'm showing you. Look at these words I'm showing you. Look at this page from the rule book. So I want a more plain background when I'm doing that. So this is my office, second bedroom area. So I teach from in here, but I always live stream from out in my pretty great room because I have art and practical lighting and all that kind of stuff. So I make that deliberate choice because it just sort of feels right when I look at things on screen.
One thing I did think about doing, because I do I need sometimes to use green screen as well. And so I've got like a little one that I can just put up. But I did think about getting that. I know Rich uses, what do they call it? I'm completely losing my memory here. Where you have the big rollers of sort of used in photography that sort of come down with the. So I thought of having a green one and then also a grey one, so I could still add the lighting, but it would basically come down sort of about a meter in front of everything at the back. So I could still have a completely plain one. Because actually for Zoom, I much prefer to have a totally plain, but with a light sort of that is just sort of, standing me out from the background.
Yeah. Add some texture behind you. Yeah.
So that's what I might end up doing. And
I like that idea for you.
I
really like that journey. I want to see that happen, to be honest.
Yeah, because where I've got my acoustic panels, I've got kind of like a gap between them that I could have it literally almost like the full width of the room, just come down.
Yes.
Why did I choose purple light versus another light? Well, it's a little bit of a homage to Doc, but also it's the same that I was using in my virtual background before, which was also to him. But that was blue and purple on either side as well. So I just kind of replicated it. Although I can do other colors, so I can just come in and change my little nanlight backgrounds and change to something else.
So Canadian Securities Law Made Easy, CSLME. I want to know how the Rodecaster is. Okay.
Just quickly. It's I can't remember it, but what is your name? Canadian Securities Law Made Easy, because I do know it, but it's escaping me today for some reason. So
I've forgotten as well. I'm going to guess David. Okay, but anyway, I want to know how the Rodecaster Pro changes the game for you, because I'll wait until I hear that answer back, because I'm curious. I'm curious about what a solo streamer gets out of that instrument.
I'll just chip in there with the Rodecaster Pro is also something that's been on my sort of wish list since the start, in terms of like when I was thinking about all the things that I would get for the studio, but I've never been able to justify it to myself because of the solo streamer aspect. I've got one mic going into it, and there's, apart from, perhaps like fading stuff in and out, although I don't have, I can understand if you were doing a podcast where you were, you wanted to sort of fade your music in and out and stuff like that. There is that element, but I don't do that. So I've never really seen the need for it for me personally. And obviously sound effects and stuff like that, you can just, I can do on the Stream Deck. So not that I've got a really sound effect heavy show either. So
and David, as I'll call him, I'm sure that's not his name. I had a Rodecaster Pro for maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months. And again, Alec and I have the same mic. We have MV7s, Shure MV7s. And as I mentioned before, I'm a minimalist. I like to have as few tools as I need to do a great job on my stream and in my video creation. So when I started realizing that I had this big piece of hardware, very effective and very good, that I was plugging one microphone into, nobody was ever going to come over to my house and join me on my stream. And I was playing sound effects with it. And then I got a Stream Deck XL and I thought, wait, I can trigger, as you mentioned, Alec, all my sound effects on my Stream Deck. I went on a Facebook Live in LGL and I tested my MV7 with or without the Rodecaster Pro. So I had an XLR cable and then I had the USB cable going into the computer or the dock. And I would just switch back and forth from those two inputs on the fly. And everybody said that I sounded better without the Rodecaster Pro.
Interesting.
And then for me, I was like, okay, selling this thing. Next day, I packaged it up and I did sell it, and I have not looked back. There has not been a single moment where I thought, ooh, there's some functionality I really wish I still had.
Yeah, Kevin's saying, as a podcast creator, the ability to have multiple inputs, I totally get all that. It's obviously, if you're doing it for that, and you can obviously record on it as well, I understand. So you can actually record your thing on there and does that add timestamps or things like that? Or it gives an output so that you can add in things like that on the Rodecaster? Or am I just totally talking nonsense now?
It could be. You can record directly onto it because of the SD slot for sure, which is a nice and probably very important feature. To control multiple input in one device. To get the multiple components, it was actually less money.
I think he means for, like, you know, to as a podcast creator, if you've got multiple different inputs and then like a recording device and all those sorts of things, perhaps. But I get it for people who aren't just like me, solo, solo live streamer who's not really doing anything with music as well. But
solo video creators.
Yeah. It's still on my list though. I haven't actually got to the extent of like going, don't need it. It's still there. Oh, hey.
I would not judge you for buying one and trying it out for sure.
Yeah.
But
just got to say hello to Aubrey popping in. Hello.
Absolutely. Nice good to see you, Obs. Hey girl, hey. Sorry, but we got really distracted off the beta.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, we have gone way off the beta, haven't we? And just quickly, Jeff is saying, have I made the background lighter? Don't know if I have made it. I don't think I've changed the color tone. I did put the lights around the acoustic panel, so that may have just given it more light. But yeah,
I think so. And you also put up the Pavo nanotubes behind yourself. Yes, which is a touch I love. That sale might still be going on, by the way. The Pavo.
Oh, they are on. Yeah, they're on sale, aren't they? The Pavo.
Yeah, 25% off. The link is in Doc's Discord, so. If you don't know what we're talking about with Doc's Discord, let me know. I can send an invite to the community.
Well, I'm just thinking now, because I always used to mention Doc. I mean, I've got an overlay for it. I've even got a button on my Stream Deck for it. Oh, hang on a minute. I've moved my overlays around. I've got the actual full thing, but I don't want to send people to buy me a coffee now. Where's the best place to send them? Or has he not set up the U-screen yet?
I don't know. He hasn't. I'll bug him tonight. He's been busy in the sponsor room at the EYR, right. I think. Yeah. That's been a big chunk of commitment.
But yeah, the Discord is great. After my slightly reluctant nature initially, it's just a matter of getting over there, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You just kind of have to throw yourself in, and then you realize, actually, this is very intuitive. It's got many of the same UI features that you see in Facebook or Instagram, or, you know, all of these places that we've been fully socialized and conditioned to. You combine that with Zoom, and then you've basically got what Discord, in terms of your skills of knowing how to use it. So,
well, just thinking and comparing it to the LGL, the Let's Get Live Facebook group, hasn't there been just so much more interactivity between people already
exactly.
than there ever was there? Because that's just like a stream of consciousness as opposed to discrete conversations.
Yeah, and that is one of the criticisms that you can level against the Discord servers that can get overwhelming because it does tend to be just a bulletin board. But there are ways that you can sort of train people to either use threads or use the appropriate channels for those conversations. And the one thing that you've got in Discord that you don't get anywhere else is searchability. And we're going to have to really start training people that, hey, you have a question about this thing. Why don't you pop in the search terms Ecamm Beta in the search bar in Discord, and you will see every instance that it was. Now, if you want to see every time that Alec talked about Ecamm Beta, boom, add that into the search bar, and you're going to be able to find everything you need to know. So that is something you don't get in Facebook. The searching groups is just
hopeless,
horrible.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Jim's still getting accustomed to Discord. Well, it's like with anything.
Totally fair.
Just take a little while.
Yeah, go ahead. Corey's just like, I need to get in the back. Corey's got to go to work. So, Mr. Sir is getting ready. Look at that black and red bag. What a surprise. Just a casual interruption,
No problem. Jim says he just ordered Tascam Mixcast 4. That's the one that's looks as if it's almost got the same port arrangement as the Rodecaster. Is that the one, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like it is a Rodecaster Pro with just a slightly different coat of paint on it. So it could come from the very same factory even. And maybe the exclusive fabrication license has expired at that factory, and now Tascam is swooping in and saying, here, we will give you money to produce this and put our name on it now. So
yeah, let us know how it goes. Jim. Discord training sounds like a good topic for class. It would be quite a good thing to go over. A little bit of an orientation video. I've been officially banned from making any tutorial style videos on Discord.
Jim, I hate to inform you that none of your informative Discord videos are going to come from Alec. They are going to come from me. So I already have a channel name. I'm starting to put together the plan, but I'm trying not to do any of that until tomorrow because I have theme days to keep me productive. Today is supposed to be scheduling and marketing. How's that working out for me on a Friday? Not very well. But tomorrow is learning day and Sunday is planning day. So Sunday I can work on my new Discord YouTube channel idea. But yes, I've been trying to stay disciplined on things like video editing and such. It's not been a good week for that. So, but you're absolutely right. A lot of it, Jim, is just getting in there and pressing buttons and breaking things. Like that is how all of my learning basically happened. And the only times I started asking questions, so in my own Discord server that I've had for, I guess 9 months, I have a developer. I have 2 developers who are young Dutch kids who were the reasons that I got into this world in the first place. So if I can't find a button to push and break stuff with, that's when I go to them. Oh, I do a Google search first. And then I go to them and say, there's this thing I want to try doing. What do you think? And they're like, oh, okay, we'll work on it. And then I realize it's actually something more complicated. But honestly, Jim, just start pressing some buttons. Just go ahead. Yeah, you're good at breaking things. Fantastic.
An LGL group class, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, just a really brief thing of like where to find things in. I mean, it's pretty intuitive. I say that, but if people are new to it, just like a little more than a overview of Discord, like a little orientation video of, or in class or whatever, just a quick thing of this is where stuff is. This is what these things are for. So like there's the creator channels, for example, which is, for cooking creators, sports creators, things like that. But it's just getting the message across that is for discussing the creation of content on those topics, as opposed to what we're all cooking.
Exactly. What are you eating today?
Yeah.
This isn't Instagram, friends. Not Instagram.
So yeah, little orientation about that. Maybe might be a good idea.
Jim, that's great feedback, and we'll put that in front of Doc for sure. And you put that in front of Doc, and then we'll get that done. We are moving over to Discord, Jim. It is happening. It is happening.
It's better over there. The future's brighter over there.
It is. It is. The grass, so green. So green.
Well, we have gone quite far off topic, really, haven't we, from the Ecamm Live Beta? Have you got any specific things that you'd like to see in Ecamm, by the way? Any features or feature requests or things like that?
Because I work so heavily with video inside of my streams, anything that allows me to more easily control that video is going to be something I want. So one of the things I struggle with when I am showing video on my live streams, I'd like to have discrete controls that allow me to go back and forth. And yes, there is the on screen, but you know what it's like when you're streaming, Alec. You're fumbling around with your trackpad, you got your keyboard, and you're trying to do all these things, and then you're on your Ecamm window and you're trying to find the control.
Yep.
And if you have multiple video overlays or different screen share overlays, then controls pop up and you're, oh wait, which one is this? Which one is this? Oh, can I find it? And you just feel quite clumsy and not very confident. So I would like to have controls that I can access, perhaps program into a Stream Deck that allow me to pause, scroll back 2 seconds, scroll back 5 seconds, scroll, that sort of thing, which is probably very niche. There's not probably a lot of people who are using Ecamm the way that I do, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just send a really nice bottle of whiskey to the two guys and see what happens. You never know.
Well, I mean, you say it's niche. It's not that niche, is it? Really, wanting just to be able to control things a little bit easier. And I'm sure if you're doing it, there's probably is other people who are doing something similar. And it's sometimes those things they're not necessarily difficult to implement. Some things might sound complex but aren't, and other things might sound easy and aren't. But I do love the responsiveness of them.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And somebody was asking just in the beta group the other day about the file names. So all the file names come in as a just whatever it is, Ecamm Live recording, and then the date. The ability to actually give those custom names in the preferences, but then have that as well. The thing that I added to that was have it on a profile by profile basis, so that if you have different names per profile, then that'd help things a lot as well.
I love that idea. I am here for that journey. Oh man, because yes, always we're going back and we're finding our file and putting it into our production folder and blah, 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 blah. And just those extra steps. I know we could probably program Hazel to do a lot of that for us.
You can. Yeah, I mean, I have one that some shortcuts that I'd use to do that, but at the same time, they still all come out of Ecamm with that same naming convention. So if I've done some recordings on this channel, but then I've done some for my other work stuff, they're all just in a list. And so having something to differentiate them would definitely be useful.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like is with the text overlays. Text overlays are brilliant. I know you can do loads of stuff with them. Anna and Fulgens on building blocks and in ENN in the group do amazing things with them. It is true you can do all that stuff with them, but I still find them a little bit fiddly. the sort of behavior of text overlays.
Yes. It's the background, isn't it? It's the background.
It's the background.
And trying to size it.
Let's be honest. It's the background. It's the background. It's the borders and it's the rounded corners. Because in all of the other overlays, you can specify, I want the border thickness as this. I want the corner radius as this. And you could get the same on a camera overlay and on a screen share overlay. But with text overlays, you can't see what the size of it is. And also, as you scale the text, those things seem to scale. So you can't know when you're setting it up that the border thickness on the text overlay is going to be exactly the same as the camera overlay or anything like that.
And I wonder if those two things related, because if you can't numerically specify an absolute value for the border of a text overlay and you expand it and it changes, it's because it's relational. and that's the whole thing. And you, interesting.
Yeah. But you would, I mean, if you think about, I'm not just going to say, oh, well, they do it this way in another app. But if you think about, say, Photoshop, Keynote, or something like that, if you set the border radius and the border thickness, and then you expand the size of the shape, those things stay the same. So you always do keep the same radius. So that's that's another little thing that I'd like to see that would make it easier for me to work with text overlays.
Yeah. And number of pixels. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree. Mm-hmm. That's a really good suggestion. But the file name stuff, oof, I like that a lot. Uh-huh. I like that a lot. And why does the SRT file go externally? Why is it saved externally instead of inside the same folder that the main audio and all your ISOs are all saved? Have you noticed that? You must have noticed that.
Say that again. Where's it stored?
Okay, so when your live stream file is saved in your folder, inside your Ecamm live streaming folder, 2021, blah, 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 you've got your MP4 or your MOV, whichever format you're saving in. You've got your main audio, ISO, M4A. You've got your sound effects, your second guest, your whatever. But the SRT file gets saved in the parent directory.
Do you know what? I'd never noticed that because I don't save out separate audio tracks because I'm just basically not editing or anything like that. But that is weird.
Drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. Drives me nuts because I end up taking the folder and I put it into whatever working folder it's going to be going into the project folder.
Yeah.
And then a month later, I've got a pile of SRT files, and because of the naming convention, yes, I can track them all down, but I've already changed the folder names.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that day, what stream did I do? And I'm trying to track down, like, do I need this SRT file? Do I not? Oh my gosh, it just drives me crazy. So that's one of my little bugbears that maybe I'm the only person in the universe that has this as a little thing, but I would like that to go into the folder.
That would make total sense.
Yeah, it would. There has to be a rationale for it. There has to be a reason. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's because it gets produced afterwards.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
No, I don't know the reason why either.
Okay.
It would make sense though.
Yeah. I'm waiting for somebody in the comments to go, yeah, Keely, and I don't see it yet. So I'm pouting. I'm going to sit here and pout until somebody agrees with me.
Have you asked that in the beta group at all?
No, I haven't.
It's a really good one, that is, to be honest. It seems perfectly logical to me. You never know.
Okay.
You might get a load of other people going, I've always wondered that myself.
Okay. I'm going to type it and say, and Alec made me say this.
Yeah, cool. Another thing that I'd like, speaking of back to overlays, is with image overlays, being able to add the border to those. Corner radius, potentially. I don't know if that would be more tricky or not, but at least adding a border would be useful.
Yes.
It's kind of like the one element that we can't do it yet.
And option drag, so you can trim it in there instead of having to trim elsewhere. Yep. I would like that a lot.
You can do that with images. You can do option drag to crop them, by the way.
I did not know that.
I did it just now.
Can you show us how that works?
I can. I did it with, where's it gone? This one. So this one is the image that I dragged in, and I can just crop the edges.
Right.
So you can do that, but yeah, you can't. What you can't do is then say, I want a border on this now.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that would make it look a lot prettier.
Uh-huh.
Especially when you can put so many borders around everything else. Now you just have this one element that you can't. It's standing out now. It's looking a little raw.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, I've got to take that into an external program just to make it look right with everything else.
Yeah. I agree.
Very good point from where's it gone now? Kevin, just saying that if we did a Discord, I've got rights to do this. Doing the little Discord walkthrough for the LGL group, having it rather than doing it in office hours, having it as like a little video in the actual Discord thing itself would be useful for people who aren't attending the office hours. I think that's a
Right.
good point.
Well, we could do a regular voice
Mhm.
channel and regular hours, couple days a week.
Mhm.
Newcomers come in here at these times. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll run that by Doc and see if he'd like maybe me to do that, because that would be I would appreciate that experience in showing people how Discord works. So
Mhm.
I'll set that up. That's a really good suggestion. Love that. Discord info, please, says Jeff Hawkins.
Yeah. Bye, Michael. Great for you to, or great to see you. For you to stop by. Great to see you as always. He's got to drop out, and great guests, of course. Let's not
I'm a
forget
great
that part.
guest.
You are indeed,
Or am I great guest?
and Eileen as well.
Yes, I know, but I've decided I'm going to refer to myself in the plural now as great guests.
Oh, I've just seen Jeff's. He just said wrong button on loop deck and went live for 2 hours. Oops. Oh dear. That's
Yeah. Well, even Doc did that. He was talking today in the Ecamm Live demo that he pressed the wrong button and he was editing an Ecamm marketing video for quite some time for a whole bunch of viewers. And he didn't know because he had Final Cut Pro open on his entire monitor and he didn't know what was happening behind it.
That's hilarious.
That is funny. That is funny. He said that Devin was there, and who else did he say? Anyway, he named a bunch of people that were just watching him work silently, hopefully silently. Hopefully nothing weird was happening. Oh.
Albert saying, do we want .rock's link to Discord that he posted on January the 8th when he hosted?
I don't know. I would ask Doc's permission on that.
Yeah.
Just in case, because this is a different environment, Albert, than yeah.
Yep. Good point. Transparent border radius for images. Definitely. I'm all about that. And Orbs is, I think she's referring to the Discord training as well. Orbs will be there.
Okay. She's just referring to me. She's just wherever I'm going to be. She's like, yeah, I'll be there.
That's right. And quite rightly so. Oh, that was last night, was it? That was live for 15 minutes.
Oh, it was only 15 minutes. He made it sound like it was 2 hours, which is just hilarious.
Well, 15 minutes when it's completely unscheduled and you don't know anyone's watching is, I mean, you can embarrass yourself in a minute, can't you?
You can. It's like if your mic is muted for 5 minutes, it feels like it's 2 hours for your audience. It's devastating.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is there another spammer?
What the? They were all out today. I'm very popular.
Dina's got it. Dina's got it.
Are we still having a meeting tomorrow with the LGL group? Yeah, it's the day.
Yes, exactly. The time might be a little shifted, Albert, but we have to let Doc send out the notices on that everywhere. So
that's a great comment.
That's why I love Ob so much. Not mad.
Kevin apparently was trying to let Doc know, but you figured it out.
Right. Yeah, Kevin, he did mention your name, and that was very funny. Very funny.
So what have you got planned for the week? Or next week, I should say, because we're at the end of this week, aren't we?
Oh, goodness. I am repurposing content from the Wednesday stream. So, Alec, you know, I had a whole bunch of goals for the week and I knew exactly what I was going to be doing with every day. And then in my world, big bombshell drop. This is kind of the equivalent of a whole new version of a software being dropped on, all of you. I had a new rule book get dropped out of the blue, secret release, not even published on the International Federation's website. So it was kind of an opportunity not to break the story, but to get out and get my message and my interpretation out there in the community and kind of try to set the tone. So now that I had the live stream, it was very successful. I was really happy with how it went. I need to pull out some salient pieces and I need to spray them all over my social media everywhere. So that's my big priority for the coming few days for sure. And working on my new Discord YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, we've got
Those two things.
lots of people waiting for it.
I know. Like, I love this. It's sort of building up and building up. And I don't know how long I can hold you back, Alec, but I'm going to keep trying. You have a Zoom class, sir. You've got
enough.
something
Yeah,
to
I was going to
focus
say
on.
I've got enough on my plate already.
Exactly. So that's going to be your big plan, right, for the week?
Yeah, definitely got to get that out by the end of the week, end of next week. Yeah.
How many hours do you figure that you have that you've put into this? Because I think it would be interesting for people designing their own courses or thinking about doing that for their communities to understand how much work you put in at what phases.
Yeah. That's a hard one to quantify. Certainly not much in the last week or two. But I did start before Christmas, sort of, when was it? End of November or something like that. My plan was to, in the run up to it, just sort of share weekly what I'd done on it in that week. But then it all kind of got lost with the stuff that happened over Christmas and that. And so I kind of lost the way with that a little bit. But I was thinking of doing a kind of I suppose a bit of a workshop around how to actually create the course. And so I shared with on my live streams previously about the sort of setup steps that were required. So, just things like setting up the domain, setting up the, email automation, stuff like that, all the funnels and things like that. So I'll definitely put that into some more usable form where it sort of lists all the, almost like a checklist of these are the sort of steps to go through.
Exactly.
I'm pretty much left with just like, I still just got some of the videos to make, but I've got all of the, the actual platforms all set up, all the areas for things to go in. It's just a case of, I've just got a few videos that I've just got to record. And I purposely left all of that to the end, because that's the bit that now I'm more comfortable with actually doing that, just actually standing, creating the content. The bit that I knew that would be a potential bottleneck was not a bottleneck, but there was room for error or room for setbacks would be with things like, technical issues, getting all the automation set up, getting the funnel set up and all that sort of stuff. Those were the things where I could see like, I might run into little hiccups and things like that. So I left all of the recording as the last step of it. And then I've just not had the time to do the recording. So
that's a really good perspective, because what you've done is you've eaten the frog. You've done the hardest thing first, and probably the stuff that gets a lot of people down is I don't know how to set up a funnel. This is going to be hard. And then you delay, procrastinate, and you do other things. So that's a really, really effective way to go about doing things. And I should do that more often.
Do the hard thing first.
Unfortunately for me, video editing is my hard thing, but you can't do that before everything else. Because you have to produce the video first. You have to script it.
Bit of a problem with that idea,
I know. So I'm caught in that, but maybe I just need to hire somebody. There you go. Albert, you just subscribed to my page and you want to learn more about Discord. Is that the place to go to kibitz? So what I'm doing, Albert, is I will be setting up a whole separate presence for all of that for content creators. In terms of using Discord within LGL, I will be giving help within LGL once I just clear it with Doc and make sure that it's cool. So don't you worry about that. We will schedule some regular voice channels so that I can give that kind of assistance at the right time.
And voice
I think
channels
that makes sense.
Yeah, and voice channels also have video. Just to be clear about that.
Yes, exactly. I would like to call them AV channels, or just, I don't know, what would you call them? Live channels?
Live channels, yeah.
Live channels would work.
Because it is quite a misnomer, that really, isn't it? The voice channels.
Oh, hugely. Yeah. Hugely. And that's probably because back in 2015, that's all you did.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they went, oh, look, we can add video later on. Gamers, let's go. And then they had fun with that and never thought to change the name. Because they're gamers.
Yeah.
And they're like, 99 problems. Naming our channels is not one of them. So.
I think I've missed him now, but good night, Jeff. I guess I've missed you already, but I do appreciate him staying up. It's nearly midnight in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Cox is backing me up on the plausible theory that was the voice first.
Yep.
Pretty sure. I'll find a history of Discord video and I'll look at it someday. Just not this day, Satan. Not this day. I've got other things to do.
Yeah, Jim, that's my secret. Just don't edit. That's how I get around the editing issue.
Oh my goodness. That was interesting too, Al, because we were talking to Rich about this because he I think he's gone. He signed off. But your approach of doing a one take video, which, you know, maybe isn't quite one take. I'm not busting on your secrets, but it's not an easy skill. And I was interested in finding out more from you at some point about how much practice, training, and what kind of skill stacking you need to do in order to be at the point where you can do what you've done on your channel here on Take One Tech in all of these one take videos. Because you make it look so easy, but it's not. I know it's not, because I couldn't do that. So have you ever put some thought into how much time and what kind of skills you practiced in order to be able to teach someone how to use a certain feature on a piece of software in one take like that?
It is a tricky question, that is. Originally, actually, I was going to call the channel One Take Tech, because the videos are all done in one take, or pretty much all done in one take. The thing is, it's not always the first take, because it's actually the start of it is the part which I often just totally fluff. So the bit at the beginning where I say, this video is for you if X, Y, and Z, that little thing is the bit that to me sounds totally unnatural as a way of speaking. Because I always think when I'm doing my videos that I'm speaking to somebody, and so I'm explaining to, you know, whoever it is. Could be my dad, could be my kids, could be a friend. You know, this is how to do X, Y, and Z. I would never, you know, approach them and say, this video is for you if, you know. And so that bit, I always just roll straight into it without really giving it a huge amount of thought, because I don't give a lot of it a huge amount of thought in the first place in terms of structuring it all out. So I often just roll into it and just completely fluff like the initial sort of the hook that you've got to give like before the intro. So I've got a little button on my Stream Deck which basically just resets everything. So the little bit of intro music I've got, it stops that. It presses the go live button twice, or the record button twice on Ecamm, because the first one ends the recording and the second one dismisses the little pop-up that you get on Ecamm. So that button basically resets the scene to just try it again. So I'll often, it's sometimes the first one, it's usually more likely the second one, but occasionally like the third or the fourth is when I just actually, it comes out coherently. So it's one take, but maybe it's actually on like the third or fourth that I've actually got the intro.
Right.
But once I actually get into it, I don't normally get like halfway through and think, that's a load of rubbish, I'll go and do it again. But because that's where I'm just actually talking about the thing. So to say I don't really do any planning about it, I don't go through and write a script or anything like that. I don't make bullet points normally. If I'm doing something like the Ecamm software update, I'll definitely have bullet points for that, because I want to make sure I get all the features. Yeah. But if I'm talking about a bit of software, I don't. But I regularly realize after the fact that there's something I missed out that I probably should have said, or something extra that I would have put in. And if I was editing it, I would go back and think, right, I've got to recreate this exact point so that I can go and re-record this little snippet to put it back in. And that's why the one take thing is so liberating, because sometimes you do miss things out. Just like when you're telling your friend how to do something, you miss something out in telling them that. And then you go back after the fact and say, oh, by the way, there's this other thing. I mean, the video that I did about Speedify, when I first did a video about that, I released a video the next day with just a big thing that said, I forgot to tell you about ... because there was some like major part of it that I completely left out. And so I just thought, oh, well, I'll just make another video about it then instead.
Yeah. And I think that's a nice tip for content creators out there who are thinking, I need to be perfect and get everything right in this one video. Because I was having this conversation with Dina. I'm not sure if she's still around, but she was showing how to, she did a great video. It's either out now or it's going to come up soon, showing how to create a pisco sour cocktail. And then after she finished it, showed to me, and I was like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Like, this is great. Get that out there. And she said, oh, but I learned something about how you want to shake the egg without the ice first. And then you put the ice in after the egg is already fully emulsified, or whatever the term is. And I said, dude, don't touch that video. Don't touch that video. Do another one that adds this new technique. Now you've got a series. Here I'm learning how to perfect a pisco sour. Here's my next step. Oh, and here's a tip about the lime, and here's a tip about this thing. And I was like, that's dope, because if somebody watches the first video, the algorithm is going to encourage them. They're going to be more likely to see the next video, and then the next video in the same series. And now you have that chain of somebody who's going to binge your content on that subject, because they're like, oh, wait, that was a great pisco sour. I can make it better. Tell me more, Dina. And they'll be watching the whole thing. So I think that's something that we can keep in mind, is that the mistakes don't create a flaw in your information. They create an opportunity to get them going. So
yeah, another one I did exactly the same thing as that was with the foot pedals that I'd got set up, and I used Carabiner elements to assign the keystrokes of the foot pedals to a different keystroke, and then I went into Keyboard Maestro to assign those to shortcuts. And then somebody just commented and said, well, you don't actually need Carabiner elements, because you can just do it. Keyboard Maestro can actually detect whichever input that you've got, and you can do it all within there. And that was something I just didn't know, so then I made a video about that one as well. But
perfect.
I hope that I don't come across in the videos as like, it's like, oh, I know everything. The whole point is that I don't, and I'm just on a journey and trying to share whatever it is that I've learned along the way with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think we all put each other on a pedestal when we see each other's products that we put out, our creations, and don't realize how many instances or how many parts of those creations we are self-critical of. That we would want to be better. And that means that when those creators are doing their own thing, they think, oh, I'm not as good as Alec. I'm not as good as Keely. I don't stream like her. I don't do my things in one take. And that kind of ties back to the conversation with Rich, because he was being really hard on himself that he wasn't able to do a 6-minute video in one take the very first time he tried to do it. And Kevin made the comment. He said, I think the big key is the research and the knowledge is there, and that part comes naturally. It does, but Alec, you have a big set of skills about. You've been teaching for a long time. You've been doing Zoom instruction for a long time. This is not your first time at this rodeo. So you've built up these skills already with lots of repetitions. And now you're blending it into this world.
Yeah. And some like public speaking on stages as well. And so that comes in with, there's always some stuff that can go wrong there. And that's the same. You'll see me like fluff my lines like I've got them written down, but you know what I mean? The thing that I'm talking about on, if I'm talking about a bit of software, it doesn't work properly, or I'm regularly opening up the wrong window and things like that. So just 1 second. Bear with me.
Yeah, no problem. I'll carry this. Okay. So while Alec is probably doing something with, oh dear, I can hear it. I think that's an important point, that it's about practicing those skills in all kind of environments, and recognize the art of all those skills. And it's not just if somebody has just been live streaming for 3 days, they
so sorry about Alec? That. I just heard my little boy come to the door and he was crying outside, but my wife's there with him. So
okay. We didn't hear him at all. It was fine.
No, I wasn't worried about that. I was more worried if he was all right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. So he's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah, just making the point that you've done a lot of practicing of those skills in other environments, and it comes over here. So, and just like Doc talks about how not only has he live streamed 6 days a week for how many years now, he had years of DJing. He had years of being on podcasts, and all of these other settings where he was speaking, presenting his information, being entertaining, feeling comfortable, all those things. I have a long history of teaching umpiring courses. I have done quite a bit of public speaking prior to, this time I spoke at legal technology conferences, and did all that kind of stuff. My legal training got me out and into a courtroom where I had to present an argument to a judge and try not to get thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these skills stack into what we're producing now, and we should be gentle on ourselves if we don't have that background,
mm-hmm.
and look at it as, here's my opportunity to build those skills now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
What you said earlier about being self-critical as well is like, if people do make mistakes, like in the flow of it, it's kind of understanding that people don't really mind in any case. It does come across as more personal. I remember when I was looking at doing the YouTube channel, then, you know, there are all these people who will tell you about the best ways to, like, if you're going to go down the editing route. I hate the idea of these, like, is it jump cuts they're called, where you're basically like overlapping stuff so there's no gaps between any words whatsoever, hold people's attention. It's just dung, 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 dung all the time. I personally find those sorts of videos so tiring to watch, like as a viewer. I'm sure they do. It's a bit similar to sales funnels. Like, there is a way that you can do it that is a method that you're going to get the maximum return on investment for your ad dollar or whatever. And I think it's a bit like that with videos. There's ways that you can make videos that are going to keep people watching them all the time, but I just find them tiring to watch. So that's why I'm kind of like the antithesis of that type of video. But people do, I think, are very sort of forgiving of little minor slip-ups and mistakes that people make, whereas as the person doing it, it's very easy to just get sort of suddenly caught up and distracted by what you know, by the little mistake, like, oh no, I said this and I should have said that. And it's like, it can actually really be, if you let it can, I understand, for people, be something that is like, you know, distracts you for the rest of the video. But just understanding that, you know, if you're with a group of friends and you're talking to them and you say the wrong word and correct yourself and carry on, you don't spend the rest of the conversation saying, oh my God, I just said the wrong thing. What's going to happen?
Exactly. Yeah. Would you say that's one of the most challenging things to pick up, is the ability to just brush by your mistakes, to make it and just to keep moving on? Is that something that you...
Definitely. Yeah. So just imagine that you're speaking with a friend and you're just having a conversation with somebody, and easier said than done, I know, but it is definitely that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liken that to umpiring, because we are in the midst of a game, we're on the pitch, and because we're human beings, surprise, we do make quite a few mistakes. And one of the biggest things that I need to help umpires with getting over is parking, just putting aside that mistake that they've made. And I have a variety of tricks that I use, techniques, to help an umpire get over that. But really, mistakes can compound on themselves if you dwell on it. And so in a live streamer or a take one kind of video production, dwelling on it by revisiting it and talking about it is exactly compounding the mistake. And I really vibe with that, and I really appreciate that as being a challenge, for sure, because you feel like you want to be honest about it. Yep. And just say, hey guys, I recognize I just made a mistake. Let's talk about it. No, people don't care. They actually don't want to hear about your humility. They want to hear the information that you're there to talk to them about. So very cool.
Yeah, this is Jeff has said, self-criticism can be a barrier to YouTube content creation, even if you have a lot of teaching and speaking experience. It is a different thing, you know, being in front of a camera as opposed to sometimes being in front of, you know, a live audience, be it they're on Zoom or you're on a stage or wherever it is, or in a classroom or whatever. You've got that sort of interaction with them, whereas there is something a little bit weird looking into the camera, that where, you know, certainly the first time I did my my first video on YouTube was also my first live stream, and that was a bit weird, just sort of me streaming to nobody because I didn't have any subscribers at that point. It is a little bit of a strange feeling. So I get it is a different sort of environment to in-person teaching and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dina, your style, obviously that shows that shines through, that you literally have people pulling up a seat to your counter and we're all talking in your kitchen. And that's why the vibe is so great. Broken Link podcast, you were on Doc's Ecamm Live Q&A earlier today, and you asked the same question. So my question back to you is, what did you not get answered there that we can help you with? because Doc gave you an answer that was pretty thorough. But if there's something that was missed, please let us know and just come back in the comments on that. Yeah.
It is just an Apple dongle.
It's just a cable.
Yeah.
Yep. Just plug it in. You can do it.
Maybe it could have been slightly clearer. I don't think so, but there we go. It is just this cable. Thunderbolt to HDMI would do it. No, I'm not finding it actually. But that's what it is. Thunderbolt to HDMI cable will just plug straight in, and you can just plug a monitor in directly.
Yep. Or it could be DisplayPort. It depends on what the monitor
of course. Yeah.
ports are, but very likely has an HDMI. Yeah.
You've been doing great though, Orbs, with your cracking your 100th stream just not too long ago. Great going.
Yeah. Atta girl.
Lots of great info here. Doing personalized videos on Loom for clients helped me move to YouTube much easier. Yeah, doing demonstrations on things like that is that's definitely.
That's fascinating. Skill. That's a nice little way to that's a nice little way to practice your skill in a slightly different setting. That's really, really cool.
I mean, a lot of what I've done is similar to that as well. So lots of I would always be making little videos showing people how to do stuff on their computers and stuff like that. So that's come back to the the sort of software demos that I do on my channel is very similar to sort of to that as well.
Okay.
Tried the cable, but I never see the output on the other screen. I'm sorry for being no problem at all. So if you've got the cable plugged into your Thunderbolt, but never see the output on the other screen.
I'd like to know what is on the other screen, if anything. Is it black,
is it just
or
black?
Is there something?
Yeah. Are you talking specifically about Ecamm? Is that the point you're trying to run Ecamm on the other screen? Just thinking ahead, if that is the case, then what you want to do with the Ecamm is if you go to the output menu, then there is video monitor, and you can select to send that to the second monitor. So, for example, I've got my Ecamm Live running on my main computer or my main screen, but then I've also got a teleprompter that's got a little monitor here so that I can look into the screen but can still see everything. Mm-hmm. So I have my Ecamm feed going out to that. So I don't know if you are talking about your Ecamm going out to that monitor as a second so you can see the program output. If that is what you're talking about, then just in Ecamm go to output, video monitor, and then select the monitor will just be there in the list.
Yep.
So,
exactly. There might be some display settings and system preferences that you need to look at if you're on a Mac. I assume that Broken Link podcast is on a Mac because they were asking Ecamm questions. So there you go. But
perhaps that's it. Okay, great. Thanks. Let's hope we've got to it. What's your name, by the way, so that I don't keep calling you Broken Link Podcast? It's always nice to know people's names. And same goes for you. Win the house you love. Win the house you love.
Yeah. We never got Canadian Security Law made easy's name, and I'm disappointed.
Didn't. I do know him, but I can't remember his name offhand. It's
David. It's going to be David and entrenched in my memory now because I've just created that thought in my own
you've
head.
actually ingrained that in my mind as well. Von Carter.
These are the Daves I know.
Von Carter, nice to meet you, Von.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Von.
Cool stuff. Well, I think it is almost time for me to actually sign up. Oh, Kyle, great to see you as well, Kyle. I'll remember these. He says, having just explained how I forgot somebody else's, I'll definitely try and and get that embedded into my mind for next time, though.
Exactly.
So do I have the second monitor set up as an extended display? It might be set up as a duplicate. That is another option. Yeah, if I don't know if that solved your problem, if it was the Ecamm output that you were trying to do, but yeah, Jeff's made a good point that it could be the you can have in Mac, you can have outputs either as a mirror of the original display or as a second display. So it could be that as well. But it sounded like we might have actually got to the nub of it. We'll see.
Yeah. And all of that Alec was just talking about is under System Preferences Displays. And you can then sort out whether you're mirrored or you're not, and what the backgrounds are. And that's a nice little, that applet is a great way to sort of figure out where physically your monitors are and how to drag content from each monitor back and forth. I feel like I spent a lot of time there. Higher EduTech is named Greg. Great to meet you.
Greg. Oh, sorry, Greg. I know that. I'm getting mixed up with the Jeffs that are in the chat. Ah, there you go. Do beg your pardon, Greg. I knew that. So there we go. Having screwed up everyone's names and asking for the names of people I don't know, and we'll probably mess those up next week as well. Very sorry.
Oh, and Valerie P just pops in right at the end.
Hey, Valerie P.
Girl.
Great to see you, Valerie.
Yeah. And no Valerie, this is something that you need to do, is you need to be in this chair right here. Okay. Next time Alec goes live, you're going to come on and the two of you are going to talk about music and Ecamm streaming and something. You don't worry. It'll come to you when it happens, because you need to get in this chair. Do you understand me? That's what I'm saying. I'm bullying you into this. It works with some people.
And
but there you go.
Don't worry, Valerie. Siri gets my name wrong for me as well. So
and mine. And
we're getting everyone's name wrong today. So don't worry about it. You're welcome to the club.
Perfect.
Cool stuff. Well, it is about time for me to get off. But thank you very much for coming on and saying well, I was going to say coming on and saying hello, but coming on and having a great conversation. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's always nice to be able to chat with you, and I always learn so much. So I know everybody in the community loves everything that you're contributing. So
yeah,
thank you being you, Alec.
Well, thank you everyone else for coming here as well. It's been great chatting with everybody, and beg pardon, Greg. Too many G's in the group today with Greg and Greg and Jeff. Cool stuff. All right, I will catch you a little bit later, Keely. No doubt in the Discord.
Fantastic. You bet. Good to see you all in the comments.
Whoops-a-daisy. I was a bit trigger happy there on my stream deck. Look at that.
Oh, I'm back.
Catch you later.
Bye, everyone.
Okie dokie. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and having a chat. Do you know what? I didn't really think I'd got much to talk about today, but then it's always the same, isn't it? Those days are the time when it turns into a longer marathon session. So great to see everyone. Thank you all for coming, new people and familiar faces as well. And I look forward to seeing you all on YouTube somewhere soon. And I'll see, obviously, quite a few of you at Doc's office hours tomorrow, in fact. So have a great day, everyone. And for those watching on the replay, I'll leave a link to some other great videos coming up. So don't you go anywhere. And I'll speak to you all again very soon.